If you've ever wondered whether you're dealing with a human or a machine when contacting a company, there is a new fear unlocked. American company RingCentral launching a virtual receptionist earlier this year, powered by AI, and Australian media recently reporting on 4 people in Sydney losing their jobs because the medical clinic they work for turned to the system. Joining me live to discuss this is Amir Hamid, Senior Vice President of Global Technical Solutions and Innovations at RingCentral. Great to have you on the show. How does your system work?
Well, basically, RingCentral Air, it's an AI voice agent that handles inbound calls for businesses. Think of it like a digital employee that can be available 24/7 to handle routine inquiries, intelligently route complex calls to the right person. It allows you to avoid frustration. How many times have you tried to call in your provider or a business and been stuck in a phone queue? Right? It can be quite frustrating. So with an AI receptionist, cuts through all of that, 24/7 availability, no please hold, and it can handle all of the basic queries that you would typically have. What is your location? What are your timings? Can I schedule an appointment? What services do you provide? All of that leveraging AI.
How is this different to those sort of virtual chat windows that pop up in the bottom right-hand corner of websites and companies you're contacting?
Yep, so that would be more like a chat bot or a web chat. This is actually different. This is a receptionist. So what I'm doing is I'm actually calling my provider. So I'm not online. I'm literally calling in perhaps to make an appointment, a doctor's appointment, a dental appointment. So it's leveraging voice and I'm actually talking to a virtual agent back, as opposed to what you described, a web chat or a different type of engagement with a chat bot.
But is the virtual phone receptionist sort of more intuitive or cleverer than those chat bots? Do customers know they're dealing with AI rather than a human?
Well, that's been what we've tried to do. It's very customizable. We've got different voices that you can do it. We have different accents. So the idea is that when you dial in, you really don't need to know whether or not it's a virtual AI or not. The important thing is, though, should there be a difficult question or something where a human is required, the system will always defer back to a human. I think that's absolutely key. What we don't want is the AI to hallucinate. So our platform it recognizes the limitations of the services that it can provide and knows that when does it need to bring in a human, it will absolutely do so.
Have you considered the human cost in terms of jobs?
Absolutely. Look, the future of AI is not replacing humans, it's augmenting them. Now, will there be certain job lost? I think with any technology, in the beginning, there's always job losses for sure, but then you see the rise of productivity, and then you see the creation of more and more different jobs. So again, a doctor can use AI to diagnose medical images, but you still need human judgment for treatment and actual patient care. So that human element isn't going to be replaced, but certainly for some of the mundane and the routine, which quite frankly isn't even good for the individual providing it, it takes that away from them.
And briefly, Amir, is it a company sort of biting your hand off? Has this been popular?
It has been. In 3 months, we have already 1,000 customers, greater than 1,000 customers in the US. We will be launching very shortly in Australia. We're super excited about it.
Well, listen, interesting to hear. I know there are some concerns about it, but listen, the world is always changing, right? Nothing stays the same. And that's Amir Hamid from RingCentral. Thanks, Amir. Thanks for your time.